Hey, what is up, ARMY? And if you are not ARMY yet, I promise by the end of this video you're going to understand exactly why millions of people around the world track every single move this man makes. I am talking about ParkJimin. And today we are doing something I have never done before on this channel. A full, complete, absolutely thorough breakdown of one airport outfit. Not a concert look, not a red carpet moment, an airport outfit. Because when it comes to Jimin, even catching a flight is an event. So if you are watching this right now, do me a favor. Hit that like button before we even start, because I guarantee you are going to want to share this video the moment we are done. Let's get into it. So here is the setup. It is the morning of June 23rd, 2026. BTS is heading out of Korea. Specifically, they're flying from Incheon International Airport to kick off the European leg of the Arirang World Tour. Madrid first, then Brussels, London, Munich and Paris. This is a massive moment. After everything this group has been through, the hiatus, the military service, the comeback, the record-breaking North America tour leg, they are now taking Arirang to Europe. And every single member showed up to that airport ready. But let me tell you right now, Jimin did not just show up ready. Jimin showed up like he knew this moment was going to be documented forever. And based on what ARMY has been saying since the photos dropped, he was absolutely right. Now before we break down the actual outfit piece by piece, I want you to understand something about Jimin and airport fashion. This is not a new thing. This is not a 2026 thing. Since the very beginning of BTS's international activities, ParkJimin has treated airport departures like they are their own artistic expression. ARMY has long said that the airport is Jimin's personal runway, and honestly, they are not wrong. But what makes June 23rd, 2026 special is not just the outfit itself. It is the timing. It is the context. It is the fact that he is about to perform in front of hundreds of thousands of fans across 5 countries in the next few weeks. And he walked into that airport looking like this. Like someone who knows exactly what he is doing. Like someone who has thought about every single detail. And we are going to prove that today. So stay with me, because we are going in deep. Let us start from the top, literally. The first thing you notice about Jimin at Incheon on June 23rd is the hat. He is wearing a brown newsboy cap. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, a hat, that is not a big deal. But I need you to stop and think about why this specific hat works so perfectly in this specific moment. A newsboy cap is not a baseball cap. It is not a bucket hat. Which, by the way, we have seen Jimin wear famously before, and he rocks that too. A newsboy cap has a completely different energy. It is structured, it is vintage-inspired, it has this almost editorial quality to it. It sits on the head in a way that frames the face differently than other hats. And on Jimin, with his long ash-colored hair falling around it, the combination is doing so much work. The brown tone of the cap is warm. It creates this soft contrast against his lighter hair. And that contrast, warmth from the hat, coolness from the ash hair color, sets up the entire tonal story of the outfit before you even look at the rest of it. This is not an accident. This is a deliberate choice. And if you are someone who follows Jimin's style closely, you know that he thinks about these things. He always has. Let us talk about the hair for a moment, because you cannot separate it from the look. Jimin's long, ash-colored hair has been one of the most talked about aesthetic choices of the entire Arirang era. And I know some of you know the backstory here. During a Weverse live back in April, Jimin actually revealed that multiple people around him, including people at work, meaning people at HYBE, suggested he cut the hair. Everyone was against it, he said. And Jimin, he kept it. His mother was the only one who supported the decision, and he trusted her, and himself, over everyone else. And ARMY went absolutely wild when they heard that, because of course they did. Because the long ash hair is iconic. It is different. It is distinctly him in a way that a shorter, safer style would not be. And on June 23rd, as he walked through Incheon Airport, that hair, flowing under the brown newsboy cap, is a visual statement all on its own. It says, I make my own choices. I know what works. And I was right. Remember that detail. It matters for understanding this whole look. Now we move down to the top, and this is where things get genuinely interesting from a fashion perspective. Jimin is wearing a sky blue V-neck knit pullover. Let me paint that picture for you. Imagine the softest, most delicate shade of blue, not a bold electric blue, not a pastel baby blue, but this kind of ethereal sky blue, like early morning light. And it is knit, which means the texture is soft, warm, slightly casual but undeniably elevated. The V-neck cut is doing something very specific here. It opens up the neckline, it draws the eye to Jimin's collarbones and neck, and it creates the perfect frame for the layered jewelry he is wearing, but we will get to that in a second. The fit is what I would describe as relaxed fitted. Not oversized, not tight, somewhere in between that says effortless without looking careless. And that color, that sky blue, I want you to really think about this choice. Because Jimin could have worn black. He could have worn white. He could have done something neutral for a travel look. But he chose sky blue. He chose something bright, something soft, something almost angelic, and then he paired it with what is coming below the waist, and the contrast is everything. Because the bottom half of this outfit is the complete opposite energy. Jimin is wearing wide-fit black leather pants. Full black, glossy texture, wide leg, and suddenly you understand the whole aesthetic. The top is soft, bright, almost gentle. The bottom is dark, edgy, rock-inspired. And together they create this visual tension that is genuinely hard to look away from. This is fashion doing what fashion is supposed to do, creating contrast, creating movement, creating a conversation between two different worlds. The sky blue says angel. The black leather says rockstar. And Jimin, standing there in the middle of both of those things, is the bridge between them. He is both at once. He is always both at once, if you think about it. That duality has been central to who Jimin is as a performer and as a person, the softness and the edge, existing together without contradiction. This outfit is literally wearing that duality. Now let me talk about the belt, because this is a detail that people noticed immediately, and for good reason. Jimin is wearing a bold silver buckle belt. And I do not mean a subtle, barely their belt. I mean a statement belt. A big, silver, eye-catching buckle that sits at the waist and immediately draws your attention to where the sky blue top meets the black leather pants. Strategically, this is genius. The belt acts as an anchor point. It defines the waist, it creates a clear visual break between the two contrasting elements of the outfit, and the silver metallic tone adds this rock and roll energy that reinforces what the leather pants are already doing. Think about bands from the 70s, the 80s. Think about rock icons who wore statement belts as part of their identity. That is the reference point here. And Jimin is pulling from that well of cultural iconography while making it completely his own. A silver buckle belt on a sky blue knit and black leather outfit? That is a look that makes fashion editors write paragraphs. And today I am writing mine. Let us talk jewelry, because this is where Jimin absolutely committed. He is wearing layered jewelry around the neckline and layered pieces at the wrists. Now in the world of men's fashion, especially Korean men's fashion in the context of K-pop, jewelry has become an increasingly important mode of self-expression. And Jimin has always been ahead of the curve on this. The layered necklaces working with the V-neck pullover is a deliberate synergy. The V-neck creates the canvas. The layered necklaces fill it. You get this visual texture at the neckline that is both delicate and intentional, silver tones catching the light, different lengths creating depth. And at the wrists, the layered bracelets add to this overall sense that every inch of this look has been considered. Nothing is random. Everything is placed. And that level of intentionality is what separates good fashion from great fashion. Jimin is operating it great. Let us start from the top, literally. The first thing you notice about Jimin at Incheon on June 23rd is the hat. He is wearing a brown newsboy cap. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, a hat, that is not a big deal. But I need you to stop and think about why this specific hat works so perfectly in this specific moment. A newsboy cap is not a baseball cap. It is not a bucket hat, which, by the way, we have seen Jimin wear famously before, and he rocks that too. A newsboy cap has a completely different energy. It is structured, it is vintage-inspired, it has this almost editorial quality to it. It sits on the head in a way that frames the face differently than other hats. And on Jimin, with his long ash-colored hair falling around it, the combination is doing so much work. The brown tone of the cap is warm. It creates this soft contrast against his lighter hair. And that contrast, warmth from the hat, coolness from the ash hair color, sets up the entire tonal story of the outfit before you even look at the rest of it. This is not an accident. This is a deliberate choice. And if you are someone who follows Jimin's style closely, you know that he thinks about these things. He always has. Let us talk about the hair for a moment, because you cannot separate it from the look. Jimin's long, ash-colored hair has been one of the most talked-about aesthetic choices of the entire Arirang era. And I know some of you know the backstory here. During a Weverse Live back in April, Jimin actually revealed that multiple people around him, including people at work, meaning people at HYBE, suggested he cut the hair. Everyone was against it, he said. And Jimin, he kept it. His mother was the only one who supported the decision, and he trusted her, and himself, over everyone else. And ARMY went absolutely wild when they heard that, because of course they did. Because the long ash hair is iconic. It is different. It is distinctly him in a way that a shorter, safer style would not be. And on June 23rd, as he walked through Incheon Airport, that hair, flowing under the brown newsboy cap, is a visual statement all on its own. It says, "I make my own choices. I know what works. And I was right." Remember that detail. It matters for understanding this whole look. Now we move down to the top, and this is where things get genuinely interesting from a fashion perspective. Jimin is wearing a sky blue V-neck knit pullover. Let me paint that picture for you. Imagine the softest, most delicate shade of blue, not a bold electric blue, not a pastel baby blue, but this kind of ethereal sky blue, like early morning light. And it is knit, which means the texture is soft, warm, slightly casual but undeniably elevated. The V-neck cut is doing something very specific here. It opens up the neckline. It draws the eye to Jimin's collarbones and neck, and it creates the perfect frame for the layered jewelry he is wearing. But we will get to that in a second. The fit is what I would describe as relaxed fitted. Not oversized, not tight. Somewhere in between that says effortless without looking careless. And that color, that sky blue, I want you to really think about this choice. Because Jimin could have worn black. He could have worn white. He could have done something neutral for a travel look. But he chose sky blue. He chose something bright, something soft, something almost angelic, and then he paired it with what is coming below the waist, and the contrast is everything. Because the bottom half of this outfit is the complete opposite energy. Jimin is wearing wide-fit black leather pants. Full black, glossy texture, wide leg, and suddenly you understand the whole aesthetic. The top is soft, bright, almost gentle. The bottom is dark, edgy, rock-inspired. And together they create this visual tension that is genuinely hard to look away from. This is fashion doing what fashion is supposed to do, creating contrast, creating movement, creating a conversation between two different worlds. The sky blue says angel, the black leather says rockstar, and Jimin, standing there in the middle of both of those things, is the bridge between them. He is both at once. He is always both at once, if you think about it. That duality has been central to who Jimin is as a performer and as a person, the softness and the edge, existing together without contradiction. This outfit is literally wearing that duality. Now let me talk about the belt, because this is a detail that people noticed immediately, and for good reason. Jimin is wearing a bold silver buckle belt. And I do not mean a subtle, barely there belt. I mean a statement belt. A big, silver, eye-catching buckle that sits at the waist and immediately draws your attention to where the sky blue top meets the black leather pants. Strategically, this is genius. The belt acts as an anchor point. It defines the waist, it creates a clear visual break between the two contrasting elements of the outfit, and the silver metallic tone adds this rock and roll energy that reinforces what the leather pants are already doing. Think about bands from the 70s, the 80s. Think about rock icons who wore statement belts as part of their identity. That is the reference point here. And Jimin is pulling from that well of cultural iconography while making it completely his own. A silver buckle belt on a sky blue knit and black leather outfit? That is a look that makes fashion editors write paragraphs. And today, I am writing mine. Let us talk jewelry, because this is where Jimin absolutely committed. He is wearing layered jewelry around the neckline and layered pieces at the wrists. Now in the world of men's fashion, especially Korean men's fashion in the context of K-pop, jewelry has become an increasingly important mode of self-expression. And Jimin has always been ahead of the curve on this. The layered necklaces working with the V-neck pullover is a deliberate synergy. The V-neck creates the canvas. The layered necklaces fill it. You get this visual texture at the neckline that is both delicate and intentional, silver tones catching the light, different lengths creating depth. And at the wrists, the layered bracelets add to this overall sense that every inch of this look has been considered. Nothing is random. Everything is placed. And that level of intentionality is what separates good fashion from great fashion. Jimin is operating it great. Now here is the part that broke the internet a little bit. And I say that without exaggeration. People notice the bag. Jimin is carrying a simple leather crossbody bag. And simple is doing a lot of work there because the bag itself is understated. It is not a big flashy designer piece that demands attention. It is elegant and minimal. But hanging from that bag is a sunflower-shaped keyring. A sunflower. And I need you to stop for a second and appreciate this detail because ARMY immediately caught it and the reaction was massive. A sunflower is not a random choice in BTS world. Sunflowers have deep symbolic meaning within the fandom and within Jimin's personal story. There is warmth, there is brightness, there is this idea of turning toward the light, of growth, of something beautiful and alive. And the fact that Jimin, going into the European leg of the biggest tour of BTS's career, leaving Korea, carrying the weight of all of that excitement and pressure and history, chose to attach a tiny sunflower to his bag? That is a whole emotional paragraph in one small accessory. It is soft in the middle of all that rock chic energy. It is personal in the middle of what is about to be a very public, very global few weeks. ARMY understood it immediately. And now you do too. We cannot move on without talking about the shoes. Jimin is wearing sleek black shoes. And the keyword there is sleek. Not chunky sneakers. Not boots, which would have pushed the rock energy even further. Sleek, clean, polished black shoes. And this choice is critical for understanding why the overall look works, as well as it does. If Jimin had gone full rock with the shoes, chunky boots, platform soles, something heavy, the outfit would have tipped too far in one direction. The contrast with the sky blue top would have been lost. But by choosing sleek black shoes, he keeps the bottom half refined. The leather pants are already making the rock statement. The shoes do not need to fight for that. They support, they complete, they bring the whole thing to a landing that is polished and intentional. And in fashion, knowing when not to overdo it is just as important as knowing what to add. Jimin gets this. He has always gotten this. Now let us zoom out and look at the full picture together. Brown newsboy cap, long ash hair, sky blue v-neck knit pullover, bold silver buckle belt, wide-fit black leather pants, layered silver jewelry at the neck and wrists, simple leather crossbody bag with a sunflower key ring, sleek black shoes. When you list it all out like that, you might think, okay, that is a lot of things happening at once. But when you see it on Jimin, it does not feel like too much. It feels like exactly enough. And that is the sign of true style, the ability to layer elements that should, by all accounts, be competing with each other and make them feel cohesive. The warm brown hat and the soft blue top and the cool silver jewelry and the dark leather pants and the pop of sunflower gold, these things should clash. Instead, they sing. And speaking of things that are impossible to ignore, Jimin did not fly out of Incheon alone. Jin was there too, and Jin's look was equally talked about. Jin went full denim on denim, vintage-inspired jacket, wide-fit matching pants, white sneakers, super clean and classic. It is a completely different energy from Jimin. Where Jin went coordinated and cool, Jimin went layered and complex. Where Jin kept things simple and classic, Jimin went for tension and contrast. And side by side, the two of them created this incredible visual contrast that ARMY absolutely lost their minds over. Two members of the same group, both stylish, both intentional, but expressing completely different sides of what fashion can do. And honestly, that moment is what great airport fashion in K-pop is all about. It is not just one person looking good, it is the entire story. I want to take a step back here and talk about what this outfit means in a bigger sense, because I think it is worth saying out loud. Jimin has talked about pressure. He has talked about wanting to meet expectations when he comes back to the stage. He talked about it after Goyang, the first Arirang tour show, when he went live and fans saw his hands trembling. The pressure of returning, of being seen again, of delivering after everything BTS has been through, that is real. And yet here he is on June 23rd, walking through Incheon Airport in an outfit that is unapologetically him. The long hair that people told him to cut. The soft color he could have swapped for something safer. The sunflower detail that is quietly, beautifully personal. This is not a man who is shrinking under pressure. This is a man who is walking toward Europe in his fullest self. And I think ARMY feels that. I think that is exactly why this airport moment went viral the way it did. It was not just about the clothes. It was about who is wearing them and what it means that he is wearing them right now. There is also the fashion influence angle we absolutely have to address. Because every time Jimin wears something, it sells out. That is not hyperbole, it is documented fact. It happened with the Dior pieces. It happened during the Arirang Tour North America leg, and based on what ARMY is reporting online right now, elements of this June 23rd airport look are already generating significant search traffic and purchase intent. The sky blue knit pullover, the newsboy cap, the silver buckle belt style. People want to know where these pieces are from, and they want them now. This is what Jimin's fashion influence actually looks like in practice. It is not just that people think he looks good, it is that they want to be close to what he creates. They want a piece of the world he builds through his choices. That is a rare and powerful thing in the fashion space, and it belongs specifically to artists who combine aesthetic vision with authentic self-expression. Jimin has both. And as we head into the European leg of the Arirang World Tour, Madrid on June 26th and 27th, then Brussels, then London, then Munich, then Paris on July 17th and 18th, I want you to think about this airport look as the opening chapter of what is about to be a very important few weeks. Because what we saw at Incheon on June 23rd is the mood. This is the visual language that Jimin is bringing to Europe. Not restrained, not safe, not minimized. Full contrast, full intention, full self. The rock chic mixed with softness. The angel energy mixed with edge. The personal detail hidden in plain sight on the side of a crossbody bag. Europe is going to get all of that and more on stage. And if this airport look is any indication of the energy he is carrying into those shows, ARMY in Madrid, Brussels, London, Munich, and Paris, you are in for something incredible. So let me bring this home. We talked about the brown newsboy cap and what it does for the overall silhouette. We talked about the long ash hair that Jimin refused to cut, even when everyone told him to, and why that matters beyond just aesthetics. We went deep on the sky blue V-neck knit pullover and how the color and cut were chosen with precision. We broke down the wide-fit black leather pants and the duality they create with the softness of the top. We talked about the silver buckle belt as the anchor point of the whole look. We covered the layered jewelry at the neckline and wrists and how they interact with the V-neck in a way that is genuinely sophisticated. We gave the sunflower key ring on the cross-body bag the attention it deserves because that detail is not small. It is everything. And we finish with the sleek black shoes that bring it all to a refined, polished close. This is what Jimin does. Not just in 2026, not just in this Arirang era, but consistently across his entire career. He treats fashion as communication. Every piece is something. Every detail has a reason. And when you learn to read the language of what he is putting together, you stop seeing clothes and you start seeing intention. You start seeing a person who knows exactly who he is and chooses, every single day, to show up as that person fully and without apology. That is what we saw at Incheon International Airport on June 23rd, 2026. And that is why we are still talking about it. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, first of all, thank you. Genuinely, you are my people. Now I need you to do 3 things. First, smash that like button right now. This video took real work and your support means everything. Second, subscribe if you have not yet, because we do this kind of deep dive content consistently, and you do not want to miss what is coming as the Europe tour unfolds. And third, drop a comment below. I want to know, what is your favorite detail from this airport look? The sunflower? The hair? The leather pants? The sky blue top? Tell me down below. Let's keep this conversation going. I will see you in the next one. Stay with Jimin. Stay with ARMY. And as always, thank you for being here.